Good evening, I am Deslin Joseph and I am a presenter for today. Thank you for joining us for SLAT TV News. Among the major developments, the Drug Prevention Unit launches a parenting program in Sansoville. Grenada MP denies endorsing possible successor. Front set for key ground combat in Mali conflict. And in sports, secondary school volleyball opens up the activities for the sports division this term. Details of these and other stories after the break. Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. On November 13, 2012, Cuba submitted to the consideration of the UN General Assembly the draft resolution entitled Necessity of Ending the Economic, Commercial, and Financial Blockade Imposed by the United States of America against Cuba. Cuban Ambassador Ms. Juana Elena Ramos Rodriguez said the outcome remains the same.
In the debate of this issue was extensive, representative, and firm. In the line with the interest and support of the international community over the just demand of the Cuban people to put an end to this policy. The battle for the lifting of the economic, commercial, and financial blockade of the United States is no longer Cubans exclusively, but an increasing demand shared by the international community. Several statements pointed out the status of the United States as violator of the international law.
In 2011, 186 member states voted in favor of this resolution, which is proof that the battle for the lifting of the blockade has the recognition and the support of the vast majority of the international community. The ambassador noted in her previous statement that the blockade against Cuba remains unjust, far-reaching, and severe. She explains how it is affecting Cuba and its citizens presently.
I have examples of that, recent examples of that. For example, in May 2012, the Supreme Court of the United States denied Cuba the right to renew the registration valid since 1976 to 2006 of the prestigious Havana Club trademark. I know that everybody knows the Cuban Rum Havana Club. The decision is covered in Section 211 of the Omnibus Act passed by the U.S. Congress in 1988. This section 211 prohibits the recognition and renewal of trademarks associated with property nationalized by the Cuban government.
The Cuban embassy has always commended the Dominican government for the support it has always offered to the Cuba resolution and for calling for the lifting of the blockade at the United Nations General Assembly. Ms. Rodriguez says the Cuban embassy is still receiving support from the Dominican government, and for that she is extremely grateful.
We highly appreciate that because always the Dominican government have supported Cuba in the UN General Assembly and also in other international fora, international and regional fora. For example, in the CARICOM and OECS countries have adopted resolutions asking the U.S. Recognizing the illegal nature of this action, of this policy, and also asking the U.S. government to leave it. And I want to take this opportunity to reiterate our appreciation to the Dominican government and people for these actions.
And in more news, Dominicans are certainly taking advantage of eye care services at an affordable cost. This is being made possible as the Rotary Club of Dominica, in partnership with the Ministry of Health, is once again providing eye care to the people of Dominica with the arrival here of another volunteer optometry services for humanity team. VOSH, a non-governmental, non-sectarian or political organization, is dedicated to the provision of eye and vision care services for those who are below the poverty level and without access to local eye care. The WASH mission is under the management of Dr. Dan Rubel, who received a Meritorious Service Award during the 2012 Independence celebration. Mr. Rubel stated this is a perfect opportunity for those who cannot afford the cost of visiting an eye specialist and then purchasing the glasses subscribed to them.
The primary purpose for our group VOSH is to do eye exams and give glasses to those that need them. So I've got a team of 33 down here. Our host group is the Rotary Club of Roseau, and this is our 19th such project. Every year we've been coming down for 19 years.
Dr. Rubel pointed out that WASH began in 1973 when eye doctors decided they wanted to give back to the community. With this, they researched where the poorest countries are and started on a humanitarian project which includes eye screening and distribution of eyeglasses for those who need. He says this year so far they have carried out the project in Guyana, Haiti, Latvia, Honduras, and Mexico, but each year they will visit Dominica.
When we first came down, there was no medical side to what we did. So we did only the glasses. Okay, so if we found cataracts or glaucoma or eye infections, there was nobody to refer to. Since then, Dr. Hazel Ricketts has come, and she works with us over the past years so that we can triage eye disease. So we write referrals so that cataract people can go to her, people with glaucoma can go to her and follow up on the treatment so they can even save their vision or improve their vision through eye surgery or drops. So sometimes the glasses aren't the only thing that help them and they need some type of surgery or eye drops.
He stated that since its inception, the mission has been a huge success. While he remembered that when it just began, there was always a huge crowd of people awaiting to receive the service. Dr. Rubel revealed that in October 2012, they came to discuss with the government their idea where they dialogued on areas they will target. The nurses in the various health centers provided valuable support as they screened the patients to determine the medical attention they require.
This is an annual project here for 19 years. We have several other projects around, like Honduras is also a project, Mexico is a project, but some of the VOSH missions, they just go one time and then they'll go other places. So it really depends on the host group and the government and the ophthalmologist all thinking and working together. That's what makes us come back, because even the custom agents know us, the Rotary is so influential, the government loves us, and Dr. Hazel loves our referrals. So when you can get a team like that working together, it makes it much easier to return to the same place. People ask me, why are you going back to the same place? Because it works so well.
Rotary President Ms. Marvelyn Birmingham stated, some of the members of the WASH team are Rotarians and it was only right that the club be a part of this mission. She said Rotary's motto, providing service to all, is embedded in the WASH program and they embrace it as there are so many Dominicans who benefit from that project.
Now, generally we rotate the clinics throughout the various health districts. The only place where we have a clinic every year is at the Goodwill Parish Hall, and I guess you know why. The population is quite big in Roseau and its environs. So and during that time they see well over 1,000 patients. So we do touch lives, and we touch the lives of many people in 4 days.
She is urging the public to do what it takes to protect their eyes as they cannot be replaced. Ms. Birmingham also says that we should not make any home medicines to treat any eye problems, rather we should seek immediate medical attention.
You get a pair of glasses at a relatively cheap rate price, and therefore many persons can benefit from that program. So, it's advisable that if you lose your sight, you never get it back. So that is one good reason why we should take care of our eyes. And follow the instructions of your healthcare providers, always, because they give you the best advice.
The President of Dominica, His Excellency Eliud Williams, is expected to visit the WASH clinic on Thursday, January 17th at the Goodwill Parish Hall. And in more news, a parenting program was formally launched in the community of Sansove on Tuesday, January 15th. This was done in collaboration with the National Drug Prevention Unit. The theme of the program is Empowering Parents Through Education. This program commenced on January 15th and will run till March 19th, 2013, and is expected to help the parents do better in their role of the education of their children. Drug Abuse Prevention Officer for the East, Mr. Nelson Lando, stated, "This is a wonderful initiative which the students of the Sansovere Primary School and their parents will benefit from."
At the unit, we recognize that it is not just speaking about drugs that empowers parents, but we need to empower parents in other skills as well, so that they can better assist their students in their education, and not just education, but making them fit for life.
Ms. Lando says he hopes the session, which are every Tuesday at 3 p.m., will be successful. The students were also appreciative of the program as they welcomed the audience with a special song.
Welcome to Sansovere, welcome to our school. Glory faces greet you, a hearty welcome to you. Our school is our pride and joy, our environment we enjoy. Our rivers sing a rhapsody, Sansovere School welcomes you. Welcome to Sansovere, welcome to our school. Glory faces greet you, a hearty welcome to you.
Principal of the Sansovere Primary School, Mrs. Rowe, says over the years there has been a breakdown between the link of the home and the schools, hence the reason for the parenting program. She said part of the school development plan is that the school, along with the Parents and Teachers Association executives, decided to raise the level of awareness among parents while bridging the gap between home and school.
Some of the following activities were carried out: identifying topics to be covered, sourcing and contacting facilitators, putting together a budget, sourcing fundings, advertising, and much more. The program will run for 8 weeks.
The principal says at the end of this program, certificates will be issued to all the participants for their successful completion. Some of the topics that will be covered are strategies to improve the children's performance in reading, aspects of the Education Act, personal hygiene and nutrition, drug education, school-community relationship, and the roles of fathers in the lives of children, among others.
We are looking forward to have a very productive program, one in which parents participate fully in the best interest of our students, our school, and by extension, our community. Our aim is to empower parents through education, since learning is a lifelong process. We are encouraging parents to take full advantage of this opportunity, which is provided to learn and to grow through the sacrifices of others. It calls for sacrifices to be made, and it is through sacrifices that we are here today. So I'm encouraging the parents and urging you to participate fully and to make that kind of sacrifice that needs to be done to uplift yourself, your children, your school, and your community.
Representative of the Drug Abuse Prevention Unit, Mr. Malcolm St. Rose, pointed out that this program is a very good idea as it will also impart life skills on those attending while empowering themselves. He says it is good as a community to educate the parents so that the family can truly be the basic unit of socialization.
I want to encourage us as parents to stick with this program. If we do, we are sending a clear message to our children that we can be committed. And if we can show them or demonstrate to them that we can be committed to this program, then it will be only fair to expect the same from them with their schoolwork and with attending school. So let us start by setting a good example. You tell the preacher, practice what you preach. I'm saying this to all of us as parents this afternoon. It's not about saying one thing and doing quite the opposite. These children are smart. And if you do not know, I will tell you today that you are your children's heroes. They look up to you. And so whatever it is that you're doing, for them, it is the right thing. And do not expect them not to go down that road with you. So don't go down a path that you're not sure that you want them to follow.
And in more news, the Bagua Preschool is celebrating 10 years of existence today, January 16th. On January 16th, 2003, 10 parents encouraged the principal of the school, Mrs. Doreen John, to take care of children in her home. At the time, she had just moved into a new home and there was no building to house the children. She says with further encouragement from her parents and family, her son's bedroom was converted into the preschool.
Though I was already considered to be an experienced teacher, the most experienced teacher, it was a bit challenging because I had nothing to start with. But with the help of my husband and creative children, I soon turned the bedroom into a conducive learning environment.
10 years later, she has converted the downstairs of her home to the Bagua Preschool, which she owns today. The preschool houses 3 classrooms, an office and sleeping area. She thanks the many parents and friends who have helped her along the way.
And here is like a quiet little haven. It is very spacious, clean, and the children have a very good curriculum which I prepared that surpass all others. And the children receive lots of love and attention and praises, which leaves them with a high self-esteem.
Her advice to other teachers is that teaching the young ones should not be for money, but for the love of the career.
Do not take too many children into your school, because you will not be able to give them the amount of love and attention that they deserve, and they need space. Children need space. And that's not only for the preschool, primary schools, secondary schools, college. With no space, you will have a lot of tension. And with this, you want to give every child a one-to-one foundation, the best. So the best thing to do is have space, love, attention, and you will certainly build a solid foundation on your child.
Her love for teaching, especially preschoolers, stems from activities she missed out in her preschool days. She wants to ensure that the children who go through the doors of the Bagua Preschool receive a solid foundation, which definitely includes a lot of hugs and kisses, encouragement and praises. And in more news, the Southern District Sports Committee has elected a new executive to run its affairs for the period January to December 2013. The election was held on Saturday, January 12th, where the outgoing president, Mr. Claudius Lestrade, was voted as the new vice president. Mr. Vincent Gagra was voted as the new president, and Mr. Sean Martin and Ms. Beverly Barron retained their positions as treasurer and secretary, respectively. Sports officer for the Southern District, Mr. Abraham Brown, says along with the newly elected members of the committee, each of the organized village committees is expected to send one nominee to join others on that committee.
So that means another 7 persons are expected to be added to the committee. So what that really does, or what that really gives us, is a broad-based committee representing all of the communities that will undertake the organization and development of sports.
This is the 2nd year of existence for the committee, and it serves to organize supporting activities within the district. The sports officer says this is one of the tools that the sports division uses to further develop sports in Dominica.
The intention of the sports division really is to try to have at least one sports committee in each of its sporting districts. What that really does is to encourage the people in the communities, the sports person in the communities, to be responsible for the development of the sports in their area. And the sports division really, the officer in the area really is to assist the group in really meeting its objectives.
Last year, the committee organized the National Lottery Lambert Henderson Southern Cricket League and the Southern District Football Leagues, which they plan to continue this year. Now that the committee is more organized, they plan to give significant attention to training of officials and players, particularly of football, and to upgrade the level of performance.
With the organization of the committee, we are a little advanced in terms of activities, because especially in the district sports committee, which is one of the programs of the sports division, we saw that one of the smallest communities in the area, that is the Jubic community, they were able to win the national district sports committee, and that says a lot for the development of sports at the community level, because as you know, or as Dominicans know, Jubic is one of the smallest communities in Dominica.
Mr. Brown says this shows that to be successful in sports, there need to be a high level of commitment and community support. Other committee members include Miriam and Julia Bruno, Denrick Samuel, Isaiah Proctor, Daniel Ormond, Reggie Henry, Roy Tong, and Vincent Bedminster. And in other news, contractors and those who volunteered their assistance continue to work feverishly to complete the wall and road project in Massac. On Tuesday, 27 September 2011, a flash flood occurred due to Storm Ophelia, which left many individuals homeless. Residents' homes were damaged and resulted in their belongings being lost and destroyed. Although the coast of Dominica was the most severely affected, Massac had its fair share of suffering. When the project commenced in November 2012, the men were split into two teams. The first team worked at the top of the road where the flash flood occurred, and the other team worked at the end. The wall has been completed at the top where the flash flood occurred as well as the entrance. On Monday 14, 2013, the road was broken in half for the last section of the wall. Although the wall is being built and residents' minds can now be at ease, some still complain about the condition of the road. Before the road was broken into half, it was already dangerous when walking downhill. Presently, it has become even more dangerous, especially when it rains, due to the road being narrow previously, and now it is worst. Residents are thankful that the project is in progress and are anxiously waiting for the completion. SAT-TV News will provide you with an update when the project is completed. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.